some advice to passport bros coming from a passport cis, because I came to Thailand over 10 years ago and I fell in love my first day here in Koh Samui with my husband, who is Thai. I was never planning on coming here to meet a man, but that's what ended up happening. So a lot of men, they come here and they're hoping to meet a woman who's more feminine and more will fulfill that, I guess, the feminine role that they're looking for. And that is what I was attracted to my husband, not the feminine role, but I was attracted to my husband Watt because he was very masculine. When we would go out, he was very extremely protective of me. I felt safe. I loved that feeling of feeling like, wow, this is a masculine man who would kick somebody or kill somebody if they hurt me. I love that feeling, and he's always been so protective of me and wouldn't hesitate to knock someone out if I was in danger, and I didn't always feel that in past relationships. And I think there is an imbalance in the West, or coming from an American perspective, of the role of men and women. And personally, I have been in work situations where I felt like I didn't get the same advantages as men, but I didn't stay in those businesses in that, in that work environment long. I would find another job. And I have always used being a woman to my advantage. And I think there's a lot of advantages to being a woman. And I've never focused on being a victim because of my gender. And I have a successful YouTube channel where I get a lot of comments, and most of them are good, but I do get a lot of negative comments. And I noticed that a lot of the negative comments were from women, and women need to take responsibility for that. Why we feel like we need to tear another woman down, maybe because we see that she has something that we don't have, or because of jealousy. A lot of the misogyny actually comes from other women and not from men. It's important to not blame other people for our problems, to take responsibility and take ownership and know that we can find a solution and that we can overcome. And if you have that mindset, that's going to work to your advantage. Now, for relationships, relationship wise, if you come and you meet a person of another culture, like I met a Thai man, you have to realize that there's going to be huge cultural differences. And the biggest issues in relationships is trust and communication. And the trust, you should be able to deal with that kind of soon. Like, you can see if someone is trustworthy and you don't want to be with a cheater, and you should look at their family. Like, is their mom a cheater? Is their dad a cheater? Their brother and sister? Like, do they come from a family that is faithful? Or their friends, are they surrounded by friends who have a history of cheating? Do they have a history of cheating? Then communication, that's really hard, to be honest, to learn how to communicate, because Southeast Asians, they don't communicate the same way as Americans, as Europeans, because they tend to be in the now. They don't like to talk about the past, and they don't really like to focus too much on the future. It's much more of the Buddhist mindset of living in the now. But that shouldn't stop you from having a successful relationship. The biggest challenge for me was that I'm a deep thinker, and I like long conversations, and I like to talk about the world. And Watt, my husband, is just different. My husband is a simple man, and I can't have those types of conversations with him. But you know what? I am able to explain complex things to him in a simple way, and that's been good for me and for my brain, and to learn how to break things down simply. And he can give me wise advice on his perspective of that. But what I've done is that I've actively gone out and sought friends, good friends who aren't going to drag me into drinking and drugs, friends who are loyal and who have my back. And you have to do that continuously as an expat if you decide to live in another country, because you're going to always have people coming and going, and that's the reality of it. So it can be very lonely, but as long as you have love in your relationship and you love that person, you can make it work.